Hi, everyone. I am thrilled right now because I've wanted to have Teresa on this show for a number of years, and now here she is. Thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay. It is just a pleasure to be here with you and your staff.
You know, I'm sure everyone in Fresno right now is, oh, there she is. There she is. Well, KNXT, the Diocese of Fresno, we have such a great relationship. For our people out there who are not watching us now in Fresno, for our other people, tell us about KNXT.
Well, KNXT really is a miracle story, and you have been a great part of that. You, Bishop Reed, your staff. A year ago, it's hard to believe a year ago, we were going to be closing the station. And then when you became aware of it, when, you know, Catholic TV became aware that, oh, what's going on in Fresno, you reached out to us, and in a very amazingly short period of time, well, you know the story, but others don't. It is really amazing how quickly things came together. And by working with you and some challenging but necessary steps that we need to take, reducing our staff is one, you know, that was some challenging times, but 12 months later, here we are. And within 12 months, we've seen a turnaround, even especially with our clergy. Yeah. You know, before they were, there were many that were, you know, cheering the station closing because of the financial obligation. Mm-hmm. And when we entered into a partnership with Catholic TV, and we were able to make some very concrete changes and walk it out, we came in a little under budget for our first year, which was totally amazing. And another big part, I think, of this is that with the communication with our clergy, it is regular, it is very transparent, and that has really garnered a lot of goodwill. Mm-hmm. They have done a wonderful job supporting us now through, you know, their prayer, but also very practically with our fundraising efforts. So I feel that it is a miracle that we are still here and we're with you.
I have to tell you, when Father Frank McFarland was here as the director, now it's many, many years ago, I just keep getting older for some reason, he used to always say to me, he said, Jay, you know, there's two things. The Mass always has to be on the air. We always need to have the Mass. He said, and none of this will work if the priests don't buy it. Right. And we've been very fortunate here on Catholic TV, and I know for good reasons the priests had a lot of questions about KNXT, but I think they're getting it now, and they are becoming some of your best supporters, because it won't work unless the priests buy into us.
Yes, best supporters, and also a growing part of our viewership is coming from our clergy now. They're tuning in, and now that they're becoming more familiar with our programming together in our partnership, both our local efforts, but it's just really improved our quality. And that's speaking to them, and when it speaks to us, we're going to tell somebody else.
And people probably don't understand this who are in these huge archdioceses, but the Diocese of Fresno, size-wise, is gigantic, which also means that while the population isn't as big, the size is bigger, but that means the parishes, sometimes these priests are distance away from each other, and yet they're serving these communities in such a special way and sacrificing so much because they have to travel, they have to make sure that they're in these places. Just a great group of guys out there.
They really are. You know, our priests would be the first ones to tell you that some of them really just don't know each other, mm-hmm. because geographically they've been separated, see each other a couple times a year at clergy events, but the station itself has an opportunity of being really, I think, a kind of a binding agent for us as a sense of diocesan church, as well as our local faith communities. And we're seeing that because we are now getting information submitted to us, not just for local interests. Let's say Bakersfield.
We have to say hi to Bakersfield. Hello to Bakersfield.
Yeah. Well, let's say Bakersfield. You know, they really weren't engaging, and that's not that they weren't engaging as it being something that was on their part, but we weren't reaching out to them mm-hmm. as much as we should have been. And we're really making every effort to do that now. Well, now what we're starting to receive is information coming like from our Catholic school down there, hello to Garces, and San Joaquin Memorial High School in Fresno, we have two. And we're now starting to get information about their special events and inviting KNXT to come out and highlight some of the wonderful activities that they have and projects and such. So I think that we have a little avenue of communication that is opened up, and KNXT, thanks be to God, is here to serve it.
Another thing KNXT does, and I know that Catholic TV tries to do this, is that sometimes you feel alone in your faith. You can be at home and for some reason you're isolated, and you turn on that TV and there's the rosary. Father Dan might be on. It could be any one of the priests or lay people from KNXT, and you know that this faith that is so important to all of us is being shared in a very powerful prayer community. Isn't that right?
That's right. And you know, one of the turning points about a year ago was that Bishop was visiting someone that was in the hospital. And he walked in, and the man had our live Sunday Mass that is on our schedule, 10:30 every Sunday, from Holy Spirit. And he was there watching it. So for Bishop to come in and see someone lying in a hospital bed watching Mass on TV, he said that really spoke to him as being a reason to really consider where we're going with our ministry. It's not just a TV station, it's truly a ministry, because there are many. And the ones that'll call us first with something does on occasion, you know how it works.
Yeah.
Technology can only serve you
Right.
when the electricity's on. So our first phone calls will come from those that are usually in their home.
Well, Teresa, I want to thank you, the bishop, who's been very good, Monsignor, the staff of KNXT. I know that as you're here, Blake and Jaime are here also, all visiting Catholic TV. Thanks for all you do to allow Catholic TV to be part of your family, part of the KNXT family. We really enjoyed and appreciate it.
It's a great friendship. We appreciate you very much.